Hello everybody and welcome to Eddzshed. Today we're taking a look at the Revenant, and in particular its new profession mechanic that's just sort of come out, which was the legendary assassin stance. So this one you actually take on sort of the abilities of Shiro. Another thing that's also come out is the swords for the Revenant. You can have two swords. You can dual wield your swords, and you can clearly see why these two things have come out together, because they play very nicely for that sort of assassin style gameplay, and you can do very incredible things with this. I'm a huge fan of the Revenant, even though I do feel like it's incredibly powerful, the Revenant. In the video you'll actually be watching, I'll take on a veteran, and okay, any class can pretty much take on a veteran, but the ease I was doing it with this Revenant was just phenomenal. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the swords that have just come out for it, and the abilities that you've got with that. Your one ability on the swords is just a standard sort of stabby type ability. The next one, you've got a precision strike, and this will chill your enemy and will also do damage to them. Nothing overly fancy with this. It's at number 3 that things get really interesting for the Revenant, and this one is called Unrelenting Assault. And at this point you click it and you will basically attack everything around you, and you will do a tremendous amount of well, you won't do a tremendous amount of damage, that's the wrong word, but you'll bounce around in sort of a amazing ninja style, flipping from point to point, hitting things. And if you're using your number 9 assassin stance ability, which I'll get to later in the video, you can do this even quicker than you would usually, and it's incredible to watch. It's really something very spectacular. As you can probably tell, I'm very excited by the number 3 ability that the Revenants have got with their swords. Carrying on from there, we've got a number 4 dueling preparation. This works a bit like I think it's Repose by the Rangers. I've probably got the name completely wrong, but it's their great sword ability where they will sort of counter-strike if they get hit in that time. And you'll basically block incoming attacks while you're in that stance. So that one's quite interesting. The next one you've got is Grasping Shadow. Now this, you'll actually stab the person in front of you, and then you will in effect teleport backwards. You'll shadow step backwards, and you will pull them with you. Now, I don't know if you can do this off an edge of a cliff, but if you can, in PvP, that could be quite funny. If you lose in a fight, turn your back to the edge and pull the enemy off with you. As I say, I don't even know if you can do that, but I didn't get an opportunity to try it out. But if you can, that would be certainly an interesting play choice, and could definitely result in you annoying quite a lot of people if you do decide to just sacrifice yourself to pull the enemy team off the cliff. But that's the sword abilities that we found in this particular update. Or particular beta, I should say. And then you've got, obviously, your legendary assassin stance. And we'll get into the utility abilities that you've got here now. And we'll also look at the healing and elite abilities as well. The healing ability is Enchanted Daggers. This summons daggers around you that, when you attack, they'll also attack, and they will steal life from the enemy. You'll obviously get a small initial healing as well, so you don't die before you're able to use them. I didn't really like these very much. I just didn't feel that they did a particularly good job at actually healing me, and so what I was choosing to do was sort of swap into one of my other stances to use healing. I found that the demon stance played very well with the assassin stance, as you were able to put a lot of conditions as well as just doing flat DPS to everything around you. The next one, you've got your utility abilities. Now, the first one is to step through the mist to your target, and I think it's 2 attacks will be unblockable when you first hit them. So that's quite a nice one. It helps move in, close in the distance if you've got a fleeing enemy or something like that. The second one that you've got is Reposing Shadow, and this you will evade backwards. It's I think the Elementalists have got like an electric-y style skill very similar to this, where you just vanish backwards, and it removes any conditions that you've got stacked to you. So it's like a lot of the skills that we've got on different characters currently. The next one that you've got is called Impossible Odds, and this is something that sort of Shiro was famous for in Guild Wars 1, and basically he was able to move at incredible speeds to dart around and just kill everybody. He'd do that thing where they stand in the middle of a load of enemies, leap up in the air, and everything falls dead around him. And that's basically what this Impossible Odds allows you to do. It gives you speed, quickness. It just makes everything you do faster. All your abilities will be faster. So if you're using this with the number 3 ability, obviously you get that sort of whirlwind around everything near you to do damage, which is very cool. And finally, the elite ability that you've got is called Jade Winds. Any of you familiar with Guild Wars 1 will already know what this sort of relates to. I'm not going to try and explain it in this video, but for the purpose of what it actually does is when you use this, everything around you is stunned for, I believe it was 3 seconds. I'm doing that stuff memory now. And they'll be turned to jade, so it gives quite a nice effect as well. But for all intents and purposes, you just stun them for 3 seconds. And that sort of sums up the abilities that we've gained in this particular beta, or we've been able to see in this particular beta for the Revenant. We'll still have another lot to cover, and I will definitely be doing a video as soon as we're able to on that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you around.